Hey gamers, what's up? Today I want to talk to you a little bit about the Retron 77. A lot of people have been talking about it lately and I thought I'd throw my 2 cents in. I am selling it here at the store, but Hyperkin did not give me a free system. So this isn't something like a paid for review or anything. This is just my honest thoughts on the system. I do carry it at the store. I like to carry all the things that play all the retro games, at least any variation of those that I can find and I can get from a distributor at a decent price. So this was no exception. When I heard it was coming a while back, I knew it was something I wanted to have, but the question would always be the quality, and if I don't think the quality of something is good enough, I just won't sell it. So this is something I thought was worth talking about. Now, getting right into the Retron 77, the first thing we want to talk about, of course, is the design. It does have that cool retro look and feel, the ridges on the top, just like an original Atari 2600. The wood grain, the color of the wood grain's a little off. It's not quite the same as the original, but definitely a cool shout out to the original. Then on the front, we have a cool setup of buttons. It has an old school feel. The on-off switch reminds you of the toggle type switches we had on the original 2600. This does, of course, add a few cool features. You've got a save feature and a load feature. It has the standard mode and the difficulty settings over the player 1 and player 2 buttons. It also has a reset button that you can press whenever you need to. The thing that I don't like about this is that I feel like maybe the save button should have been on the controller, or maybe you could map the second button on the controller for that kind of feature. It just seems a little weird to have to reach up and touch the console to activate any sort of function, which I thought was a little off. Spinning it around to the back, you can see it has a micro USB port. That's where the power plug goes, and the HDMI output. The Retron 77 does upscale to 720p, so it is a great option for playing your original 2600 carts on your HD TV. The back side of the console also has 3 buttons. It has a fry button, and for people who tried to glitch games back in the day, you would pull your cartridge out a little bit and turn the power on. It was called frying a cart, and you can get some interesting results when you do this. I was playing around with it myself and had a little bit of fun on like Frogger and some other games. It also has a 4:3:16:9 button, which I think is great. When it's stretched out to 16:9 to fit your HD TV, it really doesn't look that bad. But I do like things in their original form. It keeps the characters from looking squished down, and the 4:3 is the way I choose to play. Now, another thing it has on the back is a memory card slot that fits a micro SD card. This is cool if you want to play ROMs on the system. Now, the system has a limit of 18 ROMs, and that was Hyperkin's way of keeping it a little more anti-piracy, which is fine with me. I don't really care to load all the ROMs on here. I feel like people are complaining about it, and it's unnecessary. You buy the Retron 77 so you can play the original cartridges, not so you can play ROMs. If you want to play ROMs, play them on your computer, your phone, or anything else. It just doesn't make sense to complain about that functionality. It does, however, come in handy if you want to play any of your homebrew cards. I have a copy of Space Rocks right here, and it doesn't work if I plug it into the system. But if I load the ROM onto the system, it does play. So that is kind of a bonus. Now, the controller for this console is pretty cool. It maintains its standard original form, which everyone should like, but I do like these slanted portions on the corners of the controllers. Hyperkin does this with a few other controllers, and I really like that. It keeps it from stabbing your palms while you're playing. It has a clicky feel when you move the joystick, so you can feel as you move in each direction how it kind of clicks in that direction, which I do like. The controller itself is pretty light. I hear it's fragile. People do complain about it breaking over extended use. I don't know if that's from being rough on it or whatnot. I've played this one quite a bit and I haven't had any problem with the controller breaking or making any funny noises, but then I'm super gentle on my controllers, so that may be something to watch out for if you're a little rough when you play. Now, this also has a cool feature, 2 buttons on the top of the controller for right and left-handed gamers. This is a really cool thing to do because it really gives you the option to play how you're most comfortable, which I really like. The buttons themselves are clicky when you push them, not mushy like a lot of your old buttons on old controllers, which got worn down after years and years of playing. This clicks, and I like that. Overall, I like the controller. But if you want to play with an original controller, the console does allow for that. It'll also play with Sega Master System controllers, but not Sega Genesis controllers like the original console would. I think one thing that really would have made this controller better would have been a save state button and a reset button on the back of the controller itself, where your fingers don't tend to touch. This controller is fine, and the long cord is great, but if you have this long cord stretched all the way to your console and you're sitting on the couch, how are you going to hit the reset button or the save button or the load button? Any of those would have been great on the back of this controller. I just think it's a little strange that they didn't think of that when they designed it. Now, I've had this console for a few days. It launched, I had it on launch day. I immediately took one out of the box, hooked it up, and I've been playing it since. So I put some serious hours into this system. And overall, I think it's really well done. I think Hyperkin's been doing a really cool thing, releasing these newer consoles that play old school carts using the HDMI output and upscaling for people's newer televisions. And I like having a more economic option for people who just want to play their old school games. And in the end, I think this is one of the better consoles that do this. They have the Retron HD, they have the Super Retron HD, now they have the Retron 77, and of course they have the Retron 5. These are all consoles that play old school cartridges, upscale, and give average everyday gamers an opportunity to play their old school games at a reasonable price on their new technology, and I just think that's something you can't beat. So would I recommend it? Absolutely. I think everyone should check it out, especially if you're a fan of second gen gaming or Atari in general. And that's it for now. Thanks so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please do subscribe if you haven't already and hit that bell icon for updates for future videos. You can follow me on Twitter at L1Games, and you can check me out on Facebook. There's a page in a group, L1 Games. So I'm going to get out of here. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll catch you all soon. Overall, I say it's something that is totally worth happening. Display TV, and I've had it playing for, man, I can't get this right. Gamers, they're not hardcore. They're not looking for, you know, the best. Now I've had the Now I've had this. I can't get it right.